Hello. Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm going to let everybody start signing in because they just got that notice that Ken Valgartson is live. And then so y'all have to come in. Today is a reading day. Today I'm going to read some poems. And I'm in my office again. And I keep forgetting that I have a squeaky chair. So after I do this, I'm gonna and it says right here, it says stops, squeaks, and it's got this little nozzle. And so if I ever film in here again, you're going to see that I probably won't have my squeaky chair. So a lot of people have been asking for different poems. One that keeps coming up by a lot of people is Dennis Lee poem called Alligator Pie. So I thought, okay, Alligator Pie is great. And then Candace wanted me to read another one. I think it'll scare too many children. So I'll probably just send her a little link and say, here, this is too scary. It was in Kamloops. It's actually quite funny, but very gory, very gory. It's about all the towns, and I've been to all those towns performing. And so I thought, you know what? I think everything I'm going to read today is about eating. Because, hey, it's about lunchtime. Eating is pretty good. So let's start with Dennis Lee's Alligator Pie. It's got a good rhythm to it. Got my own music going here. Okay. Alligator Pie. Alligator pie, alligator pie. If I don't get some, I think I'm going to die. Give away the green grass, give away the sky, but don't give away my alligator pie. Alligator stew, alligator stew. If I don't get some, I don't know what I'll do. Give away my furry hat, give away my shoe, but don't give away my alligator stew. Alligator soup, alligator soup. If I don't get some, I think I'm going to stop it. Don't get ahead. Droop. If I don't get some, I think I'm going to droop. You perverts. Give away my hockey stick, give away my hoop, but don't give away my alligator soup. Alligator soup, alligator soup, alligators. WD-40, getting rid of. So this is a book I have for a bunch of poems, and it says "Never take a pig to lunch." That's one of the poems in there, but I don't know if I'll get to that one. So let's keep this. And the great thing about poems is, who's going to eat alligator pie? I guess I've ate alligator once. It's pretty good. So, alligator stew, all that. This one's a pretty good recipe for pie. So we had alligator pie. Now this is going to be a pretty good recipe for pie. And the pictures are just kind of all over the place. So I think the words are going to be what you're going to need. Take a pound of chicken feathers and put them in a crust. Stomp them on the driveway, sprinkle them with rust. Scrunch up the mixture in a lumpy little ball, add a pound of rubber bands, and fling them against the wall. Wrap it all up in an old monkey skin. Kick it out the window and kick it back in. Open up the monkey skin and add some plasticine. And if your mother catches you, tell her to mind her own business. You'll have to go to a room without supper and won't be able to watch TV for a week or stay up late or have her friends over. And furthermore, you won't get any allowance, young lady. And you're not kidding this time either, because we're entirely fed up. Thank you. Bake it in the bottom drawer at 35 degrees. Cool it in the bathtub and serve it with cheddar cheese. It serves 6. That kind of probably some of the stuff that you found as you were cleaning up the room, and there's things growing in your room. It should be like a poem. What's growing in your room, you disgusting little kids? Well, let's get back to some alligators. This one's called Eating with an Alligator Isn't Quite a Thing. And they got a big alligator coming in here. You see, this guy's at a restaurant. Because alligators just wander around, and especially the streets are so empty. If we were in warmer, we'd have alligators walking around, because I have deer walking around here. Kind of cool to have an alligator. Anyway, I was reading in a restaurant enjoying a sunshine spring, when a gator in a top hat smiled a very toothy grin. He headed for my table, and he sat down by my side, and he said he felt quite hungry, with his huge jaws open wide. So I handed him a menu, which he chewed up into shreds, then proceeded very quickly to eat the table spreads. I tried to look calm and cool and cover up my fright. Suppose he saw me as a meal. I was kind of a tempting sight. He chomped up all the table legs, the silver service too, but looked at me and whispered, "I won't partake in you, for although you look quite tasty, in your padded suit and tie, your face is much too pasty for a gator such as I." See, pasties, whitey, kind of, yeah. Look at me. I think I'd be probably a pretty good meal for a gator. He'd probably look at these jowl, blah, 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 and go, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat him. Eat, num, num, num." Spaghetti. Spaghetti. Everybody loves spaghetti. Come on, you gotta love spaghetti. Spaghetti, you're wonderful stuff. I love you, spaghetti. I can't get enough. You're covered with sauce and you sprinkle with cheese. Spaghetti. Oh, give me some more, please. Spaghetti, piled high in a mound, you wiggle and squiggle around. You're slurpy spaghetti all over my plate. Spaghetti, I think you're great. Spaghetti, I love you a lot. You're slushy and sloshy, delicious and hot. I gobble you down. Oh, I can't get enough. Spaghetti, you're wonderful stuff. You're spitting, you get to slurp, or you can be like that guy that he puts the spaghetti and then gets scissors and cuts it. No. Spaghetti, it's got to be flying all around. That's the good thing. This one's for the parents, I guess, more. And this is how to eat like a child. Actually, there was a play we did one time, How to Eat Like a Child. We had a whole bunch of stuff. It was a fun little play. This is how to eat like a child. Cooked carrots. On the way to the mouth, drop in the lap, smuggle to the garbage in a napkin. I had a daughter that did that. Spaghetti. Wind too many strands in a fork and make sure at least 2 strands dangle down. Open your mouth wide and stuff in the spaghetti. Suck noisily to inhale the dangling strands. Clean plate after seconds and eat only half. When you carry your plate to the kitchen, hold it tilted so the remaining spaghetti slides off and onto the floor. French fries. How do you eat French fries? Wave 1 French fry in the air for emphasis as you talk. Pretend you're conducting an orchestra. Then place 4 fries in your mouth at once and chew. Turn to your sister, open your mouth, stick out your tongue, coated with potatoes, close your mouth and swallow. Yeah, you've all done that. Seafood. Yeah. You kids are disgusting. Yeah. We have to put up with you. Just spinach. Divide into little wee piles. Rearrange into new piles. After 5 or 6 maneuvers, sit back and say, "You are full." See, you have to have a chair like mine, too, because then you can really make... "I am full. Give me a bucket." What I used to love was the Scholastic book fairs. And I think all of you are kind of missing that. Most of you went and bought posters, but you go down there and find out. And you go down and I picked up these. This one I bought years ago, probably 1993, and it became a movie. And I've never watched the movie. My daughter bought me the movie, and I've got it, so someday I'll have to watch it. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Yeah. We were all sitting around the big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was making orange juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we can eat, and Grandpa was flipping the pancakes. Seconds later, a pancake flew through the air and headed to the kitchen ceiling and landed right on Henry. We all laughed, even Grandpa. And all the other pancakes landed in the pan, and we ate all of them, even the one that was on Henry. That night, Grandpa told us the best bedtime story ever. He said if the flying pancake made him remember it. Across an ocean, over lots of humpy-bumpy mountains, and across a lot of hot deserts and even a smaller ocean lay the tiny town of Chew and Swallow. In most ways, it was like every other town. It had the main street, stores, houses, trees, garden, a schoolhouse, and about 300 people, and some cats and dogs. But there were no food stores in the town of Chew and Swallow. They didn't need any. The only thing different about Chew and Swallow is the weather. It came 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything you could eat came out of the sky. It never rained rain. It never snowed snow. And it never blew just wind. It rained things like soup and juice. Sowed mashed potatoes and green peas. And sometimes the wind blew in a big, huge storm of hamburgers. Yeah. Cumulus cloud of hamburgers. Every morning people watched the weather report on TV to find out what they were going to eat. And they would even hear a prediction of the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried their plates and cups and glasses, forks, knives and spoons, and napkins all with them. And they were all ready for the weather. And if there was leftovers, they'd pick them up, take them home to the refrigerator, if in case they got hungry. Yes, run out there and have all the chicken dropping down on you. By the time they woke up in the morning, breakfast was coming down. First there was a shower of orange juice, then low clouds of sunny side-up eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast, butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast. Most of the time it rained milk afterwards. For lunch one day, frankfurters in rolls blew from the northwest at 5 miles an hour. That's hot dogs. And there was mustard clouds nearby, and the wind shifted to the east and brought in baked beans. Pull my finger. And a drizzle of soda finished off the meal. For dinner one night, there was lamb chops, becoming heavy at time with occasional ketchups. Periods of peas and baked potatoes were followed by gradual clearing with a wonderful jello setting up in the west. Look at the jello setting. The sanitary department of Chew and Swallow had to remove all the food that fell on the houses and sidewalks. Workers cleaned the things up after every meal and fed all the dogs and cats. Then they emptied the leftovers into the ocean for the fish and the turtles and the whales to eat. Life for the people of Chew and Swallow was delicious until the weather took a turn for the worst. One day there was nothing but gorgonzola cheese. The next day there was only broccoli, all overcooked. The next day there were Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayonnaise. The next day there was pea soup fog. No one could see where they were going. They were barely the rest of the meal. They were stuck in fog. The food was getting larger and larger, and one Tuesday there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long. And into the night there was soft rolls and hard rolls. There was white bread and rye bread and whole wheat bread, and nobody ever had big slices of bread and large. And it was a terrible day, and everybody had to stay indoors. And the mess of the situation took workers 4 days to clean up, and the sea was full of floating rolls. To help out, people piled as much bread as they could in their backyards, and it stayed there and became very hard and stale. And then there was a storm of pancakes one morning, a downpour of maple syrup in the nearby flooded town. Huge pancake covered the school so nobody could get it off. They had to close the school. It's the old days, you'd cheer at that. Right now you're kind of going, I kind of like to go back to school. That would be kind of good. Lunch one day brought 15-inch drifts of cream cheese, jelly sandwiches, and everybody ate themselves sick. And the next day, everybody had a stomach ache. And then there was an awful salt and pepper wind, followed by a worse tomato tornado. People sneezed themselves silly. The town was a mess. And there were seeds and tomato pulp all over the place. The sanitation department gave up. The job was too big. Everybody feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. The houses had been hit with giant meatballs. Stores were boarded up. There was no more school, so they decided they had to leave the town of Chew and Swallow. They had to make rafts out of giant pieces of stale bread and glue them together with peanut butter and set sail for new lands. Yeah. After sailing for a week, they reached a small, friendly town and built houses out of their rafts. Children began school and adults found jobs, and the biggest change they had to do was getting used to buying their food in supermarkets. Nothing came down from the sky except for rain and snow, and the clouds above their heads were not made of fried eggs. Nobody got hit by a hamburger again, and nobody dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what happened to it. They were too afraid. Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. He gave us a goodnight kiss. The next morning we woke up to snow falling outside. We ran outside for breakfast. We ran downstairs for breakfast and we ate it, and a little faster than usual we went sledding. It's funny, but even as you're sliding down the hill, we thought of a giant pat of butter on top and almost the smell of mashed potatoes. Yeah. I'm going to fix my chair. And then we're going to do some science experiments tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to do chemical reactions or maybe hold that off till I get a lot more. Maybe physical changes. I hope you tried the chromatography, and I hope you tried the good old purple cabbage indicators. I will see you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.